Hey, it's Steven here from Marketplace Superheroes, and in this video I want to talk about how much do you need to start investing in Amazon products. Very common question, how much do I need to put into products to get my Amazon business started? First of all, I want to get you in the right frame of mind so that you're not going into this business, you're not going into this investment with the wrong attitude. And by the wrong attitude, what I mean is somebody who goes in thinking, I have $500 or pounds, can I start an Amazon business? And my answer to that really is no, because any e-commerce business takes at least $1,000 to $3,000 in investment to get a product started. I'm gonna break it down as the video goes on, why that is the investment level. Before I do that, think about something. If you're in your local town right now, if you're in the US, if you're in the UK, Canada, Australia, Ireland, any country like that, how much would it cost you to open a coffee shop in your local town? 50,000, 100,000 more? I mean, the truth is most businesses cost thousands and tens of thousands of dollars to get started. So if you're coming into starting your own online business selling products on Amazon and you want to come in with like 500 bucks, I would suggest to you that's just the wrong way of thinking. It's the wrong way to start a business. Instead, you want to be thinking, how can I take X amount of money and turn it into Y amount of money in a period of time? And we call that return on investment. And the return on investment you got to be looking at when you put $1 or £1 into an Amazon product is 100%. In other words, you double your original investment after all your expenses have been paid. So you take $5, you turn it into 10, you have 5 to pay for the product, and you've got 5 left over after all expenses are paid. That is number one. And we will break down how to figure profitability and all of that in another video on the channel. That's not for today, but first of all, we talk about return on investment. That's number one. We're thinking about profitability after we've sold our product. So let's start there. Moving on from that then, we want to start talking about supplier terms that you can understand so that you go into this educated. The first thing I want to talk about today is called MOQ. What is MOQ? It is minimum order quantity. That is the minimum amount of units a supplier will accept from you when they're going to produce your items. Because you got to think about something before we get into MOQs in more detail. You're asking a supplier in the Far East or in the US or whatever the case may be to produce a specific run of products for you. Now, you're not telling them to produce a brand new item they've never produced, but what you are saying is, I want you to take that product that you produce, and I want you to produce lots of them for me. I want you to put my own brand on those products. I want you to put these little bonus items in that we teach how to do that as a strategy to differentiate yourself. I want you to create this brand new offer with me. I want you to produce it for me. Now, if you're asking a supplier to do that and you're saying, I want to order 50 units, why would they produce just for you 50 units? It wouldn't be economically viable for basically any supplier the world over. So the first thing you've got to understand is you're working with a factory and you're asking that factory to produce a run of products that has your brand on it, your brand name on it as well. Therefore, you can't expect them to produce a tiny number of them. So how many units will a factory accept from you? What is their minimum order quantity? Well, typically when you find a supplier on Alibaba or whatever way you found your supplier, maybe a sourcing agent or whatever, they're going to tell you our minimum order quantity for this product is, let's just say it's 500 units. That means we will only produce the minimum of 500. We'd like you to order more. Number one, do you have to accept that? Of course not. But you got to understand something. If you want to order beneath minimum order quantity, which we do always recommend when you do your first product, you do what we call a trial order. So we recommend you order 60% of the minimum order quantity. Less is obviously better, but typically a factory just won't accept that from you, especially if you're going to put your branding and stuff on your product. Let's say it was 500 units. What would we try to negotiate? We would try to negotiate 60% of that, which is 300 units. That's what we'd be looking to do. Now, usually minimum order quantity is very closely linked to the cost price of the product. That's also known as FOB, which is free on board or freight on board. And all that means is that is the cost price you've got to pay that supplier to produce your product and get it to the dock. get it to the ship that you're going to put it on, right? That's FOB. That's why we call it that. When you're talking about minimum order quantity, you got to understand something. If your FOB is really high, that typically is going to mean your MOQ can be lower. Let's say your FOB, your cost price, was $50, which would be very high. That's going to mean that a supplier might accept a 50 unit order of that. They might accept 100 units because they're going to make more in comparison to if your FOB is, let's just say it's $2 or it's 50 cents. Like if it's 50 cents, like you got to understand something. That is going to require a much higher MOQ because I mean, they have to make an order viable for the factory in order to be able to keep the factory open. So you've got to understand that going in. So we start with the right attitude. We're going in to at least double our original investment, number one. Then we go to a supplier and we say, okay, what is your MOQ? What is the FOB cost associated with that product? Then we want to understand that you want to negotiate below MOQ when you're starting to make sure that your cost is lower. So when we wrap all this together, then we can see easily that $1,000 to $3,000 to purchase a product, get it created, get it brought into stock. That's around the level it's going to be because we have to get it produced, we have to get it shipped. And it's important that you understand that going in. Now, when it comes to actually importing a product, you will have to pay different customs and taxes. They're very minor, but we will cover that in another video. It's not really for today. That said, when you're starting a product, if you want to keep it really simple in your mind, $1,000 to $3,000, that's going to get me produced, and that's going to get my product shipped as well. That's the kind of level that you're going to be looking for. And we will go into more depth with calculating exact profitability, getting your customs and duties in line and stuff like that in a separate video. I hope you have a clearer picture on why it's $1,000 to $3,000. You understand MOQ, you understand FOB, you understand that you must do a trial order whenever you first get a product rocking. And what I mean by that is when you're speaking to a supplier and you want to place an order, that's what you absolutely want to have in place. So I hope this video was valuable to you today. You now understand roughly where we want to be when we bring in a product. And it's important then that you really get more educated in this area. You've got to understand A to Z, how the business works, how it operates, why it operates the way it does, and more. And to help you with that, we've created some free training for you. All you've got to do to get access is click the link in the description right now. We'll bring you back to our website and just opt in with your email address and we will send you that free training right away. The second thing is I'd really appreciate it if you would like this video and also if you would comment below. Let me know, what did you learn from today? Have you got any other questions about MOQs or FOBs? Maybe you've got questions about customs and taxes, which I will do in a separate video, but do ask those questions so that I can know the exact content that you want to know. We can create better videos for the channel in the future. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel and I will see you in the next video.